everybody, and welcome to Storm Raids. And today I'm going to be starting my weekly reading vlog, and I'm going to tell you all the books that I'm in the middle of in hopes that I get some of these finished this week. It's the last week for the official last week of Retro Readathon and the Retro Romance Readathon, and I'm doing like the whole month, but like it's officially was only 2 weeks. But I knew I wouldn't get through half the books that I wanted to in 2 weeks because I'm too slow of a reader, and most of my books are print books. So, but the books that I'm in the middle of, A Plume of Dust by Win May, and this is from 1975, and so it works for yellow on the cover, and it also works for the Jaws Readathon, which is to read a book set in the 70s or from the 70s, and so that's what I got that one for. And I've not gotten very far. I've just gotten started, probably like maybe about 12 pages into it. I haven't really started. And I am doing another Debbie Maycomer book. I've got 74 Seaside Avenues, the 7th book in the Cedar Cove book series. I can't speak. And yeah, I'm almost halfway through, but not quite. And so yeah, right, yeah, almost halfway through. And so far, it's not been too bad. It's like all the other ones. It's got a bunch of characters, and by now you pretty much know all the characters. Every now and then, there's a new character that kind of gets thrown in, but for the most part, you know, like the core of the characters and everything. So yeah, this one, I think the main focus is going to be on Terry and her husband, because Terry's husband, Bobby, is a chess player, and he's very, very good at it. And evidently there is this Russian that wants to win and wants to be ahead of him, and so he has been kind of alluding to the fact that if he doesn't let him win, he could get to Terry at any moment. And so that's, like, I think going to be kind of the focus. We're going to have maybe that get resolved in this one. It started in the last one, and now we're getting a little bit more of it in this one. Plus, you know, all the other characters and couples that have already gotten hitched up and been in other books and stuff like that are still in this. And yeah, not bad. I'm trying to think if I had this for anything. It's got water on it, so I know that there's some... I can't even remember what my own prompts are. I think there's like a beach scene or something. I don't know. Like I said, I've been reading a bunch of retros, but I don't have to figure out where they go because I've done already forgot where they belong. I do know that this one, I believe, is for... Let's see, when is the year? I think it's 1993. Yeah. This one is for... in my school years or whatever, because I graduated in 93, and this one is from 93. And so I've gotten a little bit farther into it, but I really need to work harder on getting to my print books. I've been reading the audiobooks instead because they're easier to get through. I gotta do it. The print is so tiny, and so I get kind of a headache after a while. And so yeah, I love print books because I just like holding them. But realistically, my eyeballs don't like them so well. I haven't started yet, but I need to get to this one, which is How to Ride a Dragon Storm by Cressida Cowell. It's the 7th book in the How to Train Your Dragon series. And that one won't take long at all. It's like about 3 hours on audiobook. And I would like to get started on this one, which is Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. I think I've read this one maybe once a long time ago, and I really don't remember a lot about it. And I think I may have watched a movie. I think it's one of her, like, more like a little bit gothic ones. But yeah, I really don't know anything about that one. And I forgot that I am also currently listening to, well, having Alexa read it to me, because I got all these other, like, prints and things to do. But Deadly Summer Nights by Vicky Delaney. It's a buddy read, and I was like, I've got to get going on this one, so I've been letting her read it to me. and I'm about 45% into that one, so I got that too. And feel like I'm leaving something out. But yeah, I got a whole bunch of things going, and hopefully I can get something finished. And I've got a whole bunch of other like print books that I would like to get to. We're just gonna have to see how that goes. But yeah, we'll see. And I will come back whenever I have something else to talk about or update, or you know how it is. Afternoon, everybody. It is, what is today? Oh, it's Friday. I've been a very bad blogger. I haven't said anything to y'all since Sunday, I believe. But the problem is I haven't finished anything until last night. I finished something, but it was late and I didn't want to get up and come over here and film, so I just thought I would talk about it today. But I've had a really bad week. I've been waking up with headaches and just haven't felt well, and when I have a headache, I don't really like to read much. And so the upside to that is I finished Downton Abbey's the seasons and the 2 movies, so I'm all caught up on Downton Abbey. And I can say that the new era one that just came out like this year, I think it was okay, but I liked the other movie better, and I also preferred the seasons over the 2 movies. But they were okay, and I got to see all the other characters. But the new era one was really sad. The ending, didn't like that. It was very sad. But other than that, it was okay. It is what it is. But at least I've officially finished. So no more starting and stopping and not finishing a series, a TV series. So I finally got one done. But that's just because it was easier to watch TV than to read. And so that's what I did. And so today I'm going to talk to you about Deadly Summer Nights by Vicky Delaney. And I let the little lady on my phone read to me. That way I don't like put all yours going. I'll just say the little lady on my phone. She read to me and everything, so I didn't have to use my eyes last night when I was finishing this up. I just let her read. And I really enjoyed this one. It was a lot of fun. I like the characters. I like the setting because it's in the Catskills, and it's historical, but it's not like way back when. I think it was, I'm gonna say maybe in the 50s or 60s, somewhere around there. I never remembered if they said exactly or not. Trying to piece it together. It was a lot of I'm saying it's like in that time period because I do know that was the time period of like the whole what they called Red Scare and the communists, and like if you did something that they didn't like, they would call you a communist. And I know that was very big like back in that era. Like it ruined a lot of people's lives, like actors and things like that, because if somebody didn't like your style of doing this or that, then they just, automatically, and then if you were associated with that person that they think was one, then you were automatically one. And so it had that kind of stuff in this, and that is what happened. Like the person that died just because he had some material because he was writing a book, the policeman automatically is like, he's a communist. Everybody associated with him is, since they let him share a room there, then the resort has to be lenient towards those. And the policeman was just, you just wanted to smack him upside the head. The policeman was not a nice person. And there were some FBI agents there at the beginning, so you're kind of like wondering, what in the world is going on. I did like the sassy kind of news reporter that comes on the scene. It was the son. Was it the son or grandson? I think it was the son of the guy that died. He comes to check everything out, and he happens to be a reporter, and so he was definitely determined to try to figure out what was going on alongside Elizabeth, who is our main character. She was pretty cool. Her mother is a celebrity, and so they kind of get a little bit of their bookings and stuff from the fact of promoting that Olivia, her mother, is a celebrity. But Olivia doesn't really do anything. She's kind of like back in the shadows. And Elizabeth, the one that runs things, she thought it was going to be a little bit easier running a resort than she finds out whenever she gets there, and that all the stuff that's entailed in it, she kind of thought she would probably be able to relax a little bit, but she finds out that she's at the resort like 24/7 almost. And so that was kind of a shock to her, and especially because like Olivia just letting her do it all, and then she's got to run and make sure that the place is going well. There, there of course, you know, with a resort, you're going to have those characters who are not going to be happy no matter what you do. There was a few of those, and she's trying to keep the whole like communist thing out of the papers and out of earshot of the people that are there, because they're like, are you trying to ruin my business by saying that we're associating with that kind of thing? Because you know, that was a big thing back then, and it was like, you know, don't say that because you're gonna run off my customers and things like that. So Elizabeth had a lot to deal with, and there's another resort that she thinks is doing things to try to ruin her business as well, because they are rivals. Definitely really had a Dirty Dancing kind of feel to it. You had the handsome instructor guy who everybody wanted him to show them how to do things. I think he was doing like swimming lessons and things like that, I think. But, you know, of course you had and then you had like the Bungalow Bunny type people and all them kind of things, you know. So it was very, very Dirty Dancing feeling, which was really cool. I like that. And I liked a lot of the characters. I liked Velvet, which is her friend. Elizabeth was really cool. Winston, the dog, of course. And Jim, the reporter. I don't know if he's going to be in any of the other ones or not. I haven't read the second one yet. We're going to be reading that one next month. And so it would be kind of fun if he was back again, but he lives in a different section, like state. I think maybe a different state. I don't know. I'm not sure where the Catskills are, actually. But anyway, he lives somewhere else. And it's kind of making it out to be kind of like maybe the son of the owner from the other resort has his eyes on Elizabeth. And so that could be interesting because they're rival places. And I think Jim kind of liked her too. So that's why I was wondering. I don't know if they're going to try to do a love triangle, which I do not like, or if Jim's not going to be in the picture. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I truly can say that I did not see the ending, like the killer. I was kind of shocked, but not shocked, I guess you could say. It was like, oh, well, that makes sense, kind of a thing. But I did have a different suspect in mind, but that's okay. I'll take who it was because I would rather it be that person. And so yeah, it was good. I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm rambling now because I don't know, I'm tired. I do have a little baby book haul. We did go to Antiquish and walk around and happened to find these 2 books, and I thought, you know, it was a sign. My friend wants to read this. She's read it a long time ago, and she would like to read it again. And I told her that that we would buddy read it, and it's huge. So as long as I can get it on audiobook, because I don't think I can handle a huge book without audio. But she wants to read The Witching Hour by Anne Rice. And look at that thing. It's a chunker. It's a chunker. It's over 1,000 pages. And got that tiny writing. And my eyeballs just do not do that anymore. It's got kind of the like little hidey hole. It's got like that, which is kind of cool. It says her best novel yet, so I don't know. I actually I've never read Anne Rice. I've never read her vampire books, and so my friend Barb wants to read the witchy one, so I said, sure, why not? I'll give it a try. I think she said she had read it and she really liked it and would like to do it again. So I thought it was, you know, meant to be that they had this for $1, so I picked it up. And then I just decided to go ahead and grab this because Melissa from Library and Labradors talks about it all the time, and it's one of her favorites. And I was always not really sure if I wanted to try it, but then I thought, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it a go, and we'll see. And that would be The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough. And so it was $1, and I thought, okay. I think it's like one of those little taboo things because it's about a priest or something, if I remember right. I know there was a movie. I never watched the movie, so I don't know, but I know there was a movie. So we'll see. Doesn't really tell me anything about what it's about on the back. It just has people praising it, so I just kind of know what it is based on the fact that I've heard Melissa talk about it. So I'm still working on the same books, but we'll just go ahead and give it an update. And so I am this far. I am over halfway, but not very much over halfway into In a Rogue's Arms by Virginia Lynn. I'm liking it. It's just print, and the print is really tiny, and then I have to have good lighting, and I have to concentrate on it, so like when I was watching stuff that I had to concentrate on the TV, I couldn't read, and that's kind of been my downfall this week. I should have concentrated more on reading, since it is a retro romance readathon, but it didn't happen. Same like here says, I'm still reading A Plume of Dust, which is really small, and I should get it finished, but yeah, I'm not even. If I finish another book this week, it's probably going to be Duke and I by Julia Quinn, just because I am closest to finishing it, and I have it on audiobook. I'll be honest, it's on audiobook. I would like to try to get one of these done by Sunday, since Sunday's the last day, but I don't know if I will. I do know that I'm going to continue reading my retro romances through the end of the month, so that's just the official ending of the 2 weeks, but I will probably still be reading. I still have a lot of ones that I'd like to get to, but I'm not even sure if I've hit any of the prompts, to be honest. These are for the prompts, and I'm not getting them done, so I don't know. This one could fit the flowers, and this has yellow on it for yellow on the cover. But other than that, I don't think I've hit very many prompts. I've been bad. But anyway, that's just kind of how the week has went. I've had headaches all week long and just haven't been in a print book reading mood. So, is what it is. And I will pop back on here whenever I finish something, hopefully, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Duke and I, because I do have the audiobook for that. Hello everybody, it is Saturday morning, and I finished a couple of books yesterday actually, and so I need to talk about it today. It seems like everything is happening at the end of the week. I didn't read anything pretty much throughout the whole week, and then now it's all getting done. And so the first book is The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. It's the first book in the Bridgerton series, and it's very hyped. Everybody is in love with this series, and I was really kind of afraid to try it for a long time because I was like, I don't know, will I like it or not? But I do like historicals and stuff, so I thought I'd give it a try. And it has flowers on the cover, so it could hit one of the retro prompts because it did come out in like 2000, I believe. So this is the new edition with the Netflix people on it. It's what my library had. And yeah, I thought it was okay. I gave it 4 stars. It was good. I'm not sure if I was a particular fan of Simon, but I did like Daphne, and I liked her mother Violet. She was just a lot of fun. Violet was made me laugh all the time. She was quite fun. But pretty much this is about Simon, who's father was very, very mean to him. So I do feel bad about, him because of the way he feels about things. Because his father pretty much told everybody that he was dead because whenever he was born, he didn't speak until he was like 4, and then he had a big stutter. And so he, thought he was dumb and just kind of cast him to the side, I guess you could say. And so he has this real big hatred for his father, and there are certain things that he wants to do to make sure that things happen. Like, he didn't want to have kids because he wanted the line to die with him, kind of a thing. And so he has a lot of obstacles to get through, I guess you could say, as he is older. And he was never going to get married. But then he meets Daphne, and he gets caught with Daphne in, like, I think it was the garden or whatever, in, like, how they say it, the compromising position, and could ruin her reputation, and gets caught by Anthony, her older brother, who's friends with Simon, but I'm not quite sure they're friends now. And so he's pretty much forced to marry her and everything. And so, but she is in love with him. He's just pretty much marrying because he has to, kind of a thing. And, so it's just them getting together and, the happily ever after type thing, romance and everything. I thought it was fine. Like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of Simon, but the story was fine. I liked Whistledown, the lady who's writing the scandal things about everything that's happening. There was like these little tidbits at the beginning of each like chapter or whatever. And this one had the audiobook that I listened to, and this has the second epilogue, so you get to see what happens in the future with the couple, which I thought was kind of fun. So you have the epilogue that was in the book the first time, and then as I've heard a lot of people talk about how she wrote a second epilogue for like all the characters in this series, and kind of like how their life has been, kids and all that kind of stuff. And so the second epilogue was kind of fun to listen to too. So I liked it. 4 stars. And I am quite curious to read the second book in the series because I know it's about Anthony, and I kind of know a little bit about how he ends up having to get married or whatever it is, and I think it's kind of funny because of how he acted in the first one. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. I'm not going to watch the show though until I think until I've finished the book series, because I know Sarah from the Bookish Knitter has said that there's some major plot like things that happen in, like, I don't know, book 3 or 4 or something like that is in the first season of the show, and so I don't want to get spoiled or anything, so I'm just going to continue on reading the books until I get through them, and then I'll go back and watch the show to see what I think. But so we'll do that, and maybe by the time I get done with that, there'll be more than just the 2 seasons. And the next book that I have to talk about is another audiobook, and this was Murder at the Mushroom Festival by Janet Finsilver. It is the 4th book in the Kelly Jackson Cozy Mystery series, and Kelly Jackson runs is it a B&B? I think it's a B&B or an inn or something. And they're, of course, having the mushroom festivals and all these mushrooms. And then somebody dies because of some poisonous mushrooms. And then another person gets sick. And so Kelly Jackson has to try to figure out what's going on and who would want to poison the one that was killed. And all that kind of stuff. And then one of her friends, David or Daniel, I am horrible with names. One of those names ends up being kind of a suspect because of some things that happened because he's Native American, I believe, and he's got his tribal friends and like the sacred land thing, and something happened there, and I think he had words with the guy who died, and so now he's kind of a suspect, and so she wants to try to figure out what happened to get him off of the hook, because she knows that he would never do anything like that. And I think we are finally getting to where there could be a love interest. I think his name is Scott, which I kind of thought it would have been the Daniel David guy, but maybe not. Or they're going to do a love triangle, which I hope not, because I don't know a lot about Scott, because I think I don't remember him in any of the other ones, but like, this is a series that I listened to the first two several years ago. I listened to the third one last month, so I feel like I'm trying to wrap my head around the characters still, because it's been so long. That's why I hate when I read something and then I don't get back to it. I don't like to binge, but I don't necessarily like to let so much time lapse and everything. But so I'm kind of wrapping my head around some of the characters. So I don't remember Scott being in the third one. Could have been, but I think he's kind of new, and I don't even remember what he did. I will say that I was a little preoccupied when I was listening to this one, so I could have just missed something. But overall, like, it was pretty good. The mystery was pretty good. I do like the characters. I like Kelly, and I like her friends, and it has some older sleuths in it. They're pretty fun, and they get involved all the time and keeps the policeman on his toes and everything. So yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. So 2 books that I enjoyed, so that's good. I am still working on these. I don't know if I will be able to get one finished today or not. These might be going... I wanted to get more done for Retro Romance Readathon, but I don't think I'm going to. But I'm going to continue on through, like I said, the whole month. But for the actual 2 weeks that the readathon was going, I still have tomorrow for the official like end of the readathon, so I could get one of these done. I really would like to get this one done. I've got this much to go, so we'll just have to see how much reading time I get done today and everything. I still, like I said, I still do have tomorrow officially, but usually I end my vlogs on Saturday, so I don't know if I'll get another one finished, is what I'm saying pretty much. I could end up getting this finished tomorrow for the start of another reading vlog, so that's what, we'll see. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it's Saturday morning, it's 10:30, so I have plenty of time to read because I don't have anything going on today except for a live with my friends where I will be reading. So we'll see how it goes. Hello everybody, it's Sunday night, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and just let this vlog go one extra day, because since today was the official last day of the Retro Romance Readathon Summer Vacation Edition, and I wanted to finish another book. And I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and wrap up the vlog on Sunday night instead of when I usually do it on Saturdays, and I usually upload on Sundays, so this is going to be uploaded on Monday instead. But that's okay. It's still pretty close. But anyway, I did finish another book, so I did finally finish In a Rogue's Arm by Virginia Lynn. I really like this book. I really like this step back. It's so pretty. And I wasn't sure what I was going to think of this one after certain things happened, but I did enjoy it. I really did. I give it 4 stars. This is for the prompt to read a book that was in like the time period that you were in school, and I decided to go with this one because it was published the year I graduated from school. So, and this is about Cal, who is an outlaw, but he's an outlaw because of what happened to him whenever he was younger. There's this guy who burned down their house, killed his father, and and he swore vengeance on this guy. He was like 14 when it happened. He wanted to try to shoot him, but he was, he's 14. He was scared. He couldn't do it. And the guys just kind of laughed at him, and they rode off and got away. And he swears that whenever he gets to be an adult, he's going to find out who it was, because they had masks on, who it was, and he was going to go after them. Well, he has done this, and he has successfully robbed the guy's stagecoach several times. And a lot of times leaves him out there in his long johns, from waiting for somebody to come and get him off the stagecoach and everything. It's kind of funny. But he does this, and he has his little, kind of like his band of outlaws, and they have all had similar problems with this same guy coming in. He wants their land. If they don't want to sell their land or whatever, this guy finds a way to take it from them, even if it's to just burn them out and make them leave. And so most of the people that are in the valley where Cal lives and everything have had this happen to them, and they have no other place to go, so they've band together and they've made this like little community where nobody knows where they're at. They're in this like the pass that they have to go through to get through the valley. If you don't know where it's at, like, you wouldn't be able to see it. So it's kind of like their version of like being out in the woods, kind of, because it is kind of a Robin Hood type retelling. You can tell that Kel is supposed to be like the Robin Hood character and things like that. And so yeah, and then he was robbing the stagecoach, and he got a surprise. Out come this fiery woman and almost shoots him. And that's when they find out that this guy John Mitchell has a niece. They had just brought her there to the town, and so their first meeting was quite comical, because like she come out a shooting and everything, and you could tell from then that she was just going to be one of those women that was going to be hard to control. And one day when they decided, because they've never robbed this guy's bank before, so they decided, one day they're going to rob the bank, and they do this. Well, Chloe was out and she almost fell, and he tried to save her, and everything, and then some things happen, and he's like, you're coming with me. So he just picks her up and puts her on there, and he kidnaps her pretty much. And she wasn't quite so willing at the beginning, but she wasn't like horribly captive. I mean, he was trying to be nice to her. She was the one that was kicking and screaming and all that stuff, which made him end up putting her in ropes and keeping her there. It was pretty funny. Nobody else wanted to deal with her. She was a Spitfire. They're like, you brought her here, you can deal with her, kind of thing, And so there was quite a few funny moments like that. But he does end up like seducing her, but he never like made her do anything that she didn't want to. I'll put it that way. And stuff. So she would get mad at herself for having these feelings for this guy who has kidnapped her, kind of thing. But that kind of spurns like the whole thing. Like, she's been kidnapped. She's there. She tries to get away a couple of times. It makes him very mad. He's fighting these feelings. He doesn't like having these feelings. He's like very cold. He has learned how to distance himself from things and to be really cold, because he just wants vengeance on this one guy, and that's it. He's been trying to get enough stuff on Mitchell that he can maybe take it to the law, and the law can do something about it. But everybody's afraid of the guy. I mean, he owns pretty much the whole town, and they're afraid to say anything because they don't want to end up like the other people that are with Cal, and end up having to hide and everything like that. So yeah, it had some really fun moments, and the chemistry between the two were really good. It did have some sexy times in it, so I don't know. I'm not good at rating like Steam. I don't know, maybe like a 3. I don't know. It, it was there. It was there. And but yeah, I really liked it, and I would definitely check something else out from this author to see if her other books were as good as this one, because it's the first time I've ever read this author. And then I realized when I was looking at the books that I read this week and I had started editing my vlog that I never mentioned that I finished this one, which was 74 Seaside Avenue. And this one is, of course, the 7th book in the Cedar Cove series by Debbie Macomber. And I enjoyed this. This one was about, is it Terry? Then forgot her name. Yeah, Terry. Okay. This one's about Terry and Bobby, and you meet them in book 6, and kind of like their courtship and everything started in book 6. Also, there's a lot about Rachel and her like kind of love triangle that she has going on, though she doesn't really realize that she has it going on, because she thinks she's in love with Nate, but she's been hanging out with, I think his name's Brian, and his little girl for several books. But she thinks of him as like a friend because she's friends with the little girl, because the little girl doesn't have a mother, and so she's been, hanging out with her, doing her hair, taking her to the mall, things like that, and just kind of thinks of Brian as a friend. They've shared a couple of kisses, but it was always just friendly to her. Her friend Terry, though, in other words, thinks that she likes him more than she lets on. But she's like, no, I'm with Nate, or whatever. So yeah, so she's had this love triangle going on, and it finally gets resolved in this one, how she feels about whichever one it is that she picks. And then, of course, there's some things about some of the other ones in the series. One thing with Cedar Cove is there's a lot of characters, and so you get bits and pieces of a lot of those characters within all these books. They're fairly thick, so you do get a lot of the main stories, but you do get a lot of the side characters. So, like, usually after the characters have their main story, then they become like side characters in all the other stories. Like, you still got Olivia and Jack, and like Olivia's worried about Jack because he's been having some heart problems and he had a heart attack. Now he has to eat healthier and do all that kind of stuff. Well, he was in her story was the book number 1, and then you still have some things that are happening with like Grace and Cliff and everything, and then you've got Justine and Seth and a whole group of like other people, and so sometimes it's a little much, but I think the later ones, they're starting to get balanced out a little bit with everything that's going on. You kind of get to know who all the characters are, but then when they bring in some like new ones, then I feel like I have to learn all over again. But yeah, there's 12 books in this series, so I'm on the downward slide. I would like to get this series finished. I probably won't finish it this year. I'll probably end up finishing it next year, I think. I don't know if I want to just cram all of them in at the end of the year. I think I would rather kind of spread them out a little bit, because I don't want to spread them out too far that I forget, like I did with between book 5 and book 6. But I don't want them too close together that I get burned out on them, I guess you could say. But yeah, I give it 4 stars. I liked it, and I can't wait to get to the next one, but at the same time, I don't want to get to it right now. So yeah, that is all the books now that I have read. I read, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I read 5 books, so didn't do too bad. I finished, so I have A Deadly Summer Night by Vicky Delaney is the first book in the Catskill Summer Resort mystery series. I think I've got the title down now, I think. And I really like that one. I gave it 4 stars. It was a lot of fun. Then I have The Duke and I by Julia Quinn, which was the first Bridgerton book, and it was pretty enjoyable. I liked it more than I kind of thought I would. I gave it 4 stars. Then I have The Murder at the Mushroom Festival by Janet Finsilver. It's the 4th book in the Kelly Jackson series, and it was enjoyable. I gave it 4 stars. And then there was this one, the 74 Seaside Avenue, and then this one. Yay! And I had a really good reading week. I gave everything that I read this week like 4 stars. So I did really good. Pick some out. I really wanted to read more books during my retro romance readathon time frame of the 2 weeks, but I didn't get as much done as I wanted because I'm just really slow with print books, and a lot of the books that I wanted to read are print books. I have a whole list of them right over here, but I didn't get to. So I'm still going to be reading them, even though the official dates are up. I'm still going to be reading until the end of the month because I want to. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!